In June 2017, a 26-year-old named Alec Raeshawn Smith moved into his own apartment in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He had a full-time job managing a restaurant. He made $35,000 a year, and he had type 1 diabetes, which meant he needed insulin every single day, just to stay alive. When he turned 26, he aged off his mother's health insurance. His new monthly bill for insulin and supplies, $1,300. He didn't tell his mother he was struggling. He started rationing his doses instead, stretching them, hoping he could make it to his next paycheck. He didn't make it. 3 days before his payday, Alec Raeshawn Smith went into a diabetic coma, alone in his apartment. His mother, Nicole Smith Holt, told CBS News that when she found him, his insulin pen was empty. Alec Smith did not die because insulin is hard to make. According to a December 2025 lawsuit filed by the city of Philadelphia, insulin costs manufacturers as little as $2 per vial to produce. The vial that killed Alec cost $1,300 per month to buy. That gap did not happen by accident. It was built by a system most Americans have never heard of. Somewhere between the factory that makes your prescription and the pharmacy where you pick it up, there is a third company. It does not manufacture drugs, it does not dispense them, but it controls whether your insurer will pay for them. It decides which drugs are on your coverage list and which are not, and it collects billions of dollars doing it. It is called a pharmacy benefit manager, a PBM. PBMs were originally created in the 1960s to process insurance claims. By 2024, according to the Federal Trade Commission, just 3 companies controlled almost 80% of all prescriptions filled in the United States. Those 3 companies are CVS Health's Caremark, Cigna's Express Scripts, and United Health's Optum Rx. Here is how the system works. Your insurer hires a PBM to manage your drug benefits. The PBM creates a formulary. That is a list of approved drugs. If a drug is not on the formulary, your insurer will not cover it. Drug manufacturers want their drugs on that list, so they pay the PBM. These payments are called rebates. The higher the rebate a manufacturer offers, the better placement their drug gets on your formulary. But to offer a higher rebate, a manufacturer has to raise the list price first. More money out means more rebate money available to offer. Higher list price, bigger rebate, better formulary position. Manufacturer moves more product. PBM gets paid. Your cost goes up. That is the machine. Tadalafil is a generic drug used to treat pulmonary hypertension, according to the FTC's second interim staff report, published January 14, 2025. Pharmacies purchased Tadalafil at an average cost of $27 per 30-day supply in 2022. The big 3 PBMs charge $2,106 for the same supply. That is a 7,736% markup on a generic drug, $27 to $2,106 on a generic that a pharmacy already stocked, that a patient already needed. The FTC did not stop at one drug. Examined 51 specialty generic drugs across cancer, HIV, pulmonary hypertension, and multiple sclerosis treatments. Between 2017 and 2022, the big 3 PBMs generated more than $7.3 billion in revenue, above what it actually cost to acquire those drugs. How is that legal? The mechanism is called spread pricing. When a PBM processes your prescription, 2 separate transactions happen. First, the PBM pays the pharmacy a reimbursement rate for dispensing the drug. Then the PBM bills your insurance plan a different, higher amount. The PBM keeps the difference, quietly, without disclosing it. According to TechTarget's analysis of the FTC report, if a PBM reimburses a pharmacy $50 for a drug, but bills the health plan $60, the PBM keeps the $10. The health plan does not see the pharmacy reimbursement rate. The pharmacy does not see what the PBM billed the insurer. Nothing is disclosed publicly. The FTC found the big 3 PBMs generated approximately $1.4 billion through spread pricing alone between 2017 and 2022. Now add vertical integration. CVS Health owns both CVS Caremark and CVS pharmacies. Cigna owns Express Scripts and affiliated pharmacies. United Health owns Optum Rx and its own pharmacy network. The PBM decides which pharmacy your prescription goes to. It often owns that pharmacy, and it marks up the price before billing your insurer. PBM-affiliated pharmacies received 68% of specialty generics dispensing revenue in 2023, up from 54% in 2016. This system was not built overnight, and it did not grow because no one noticed. In September 2024, the Federal Trade Commission filed a formal lawsuit against all three major PBMs, alleging anti-competitive and unfair rebating practices that artificially inflated the price of insulin. On February 4, 2026, the FTC secured a landmark settlement with Express Scripts and its affiliated entities, requiring the company to overhaul its insulin pricing practices. The two remaining cases against Caremark and OptumRx are still active as of May 2026. The system persists because it is profitable. Total prescription drug spending in the United States rose from $393 billion in 2016 to $600 billion in 2023. PBM revenue grew alongside it. Operating income from PBM-affiliated specialty pharmacies represented 12% of total operating income for those parent corporations. These are not small margins, they are core business lines. The situation is changing, but slowly. In December 2025, the city of Philadelphia filed a federal lawsuit naming CVS Caremark, Express Scripts, OptumRx, Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi as defendants. The lawsuit alleged that insulin prices had risen from around $20 per vial in the 1990s to between $300 and $700 per vial today. In January 2026, Jefferson Health and Thomas Jefferson University joined that litigation. According to that complaint, a one-month supply of Ozempic cost $936 in America in 2023. In Canada, it was $147. In France, it was $83. The same drug, different countries, a $789 gap per month. At the state level, Virginia's legislature passed the Affordable Medicine Act in March 2026, establishing maximum fair prices for drugs under Virginia-regulated health plans. Ohio enacted a separate PBM oversight law the same month. The system is being challenged, but Alec Smith died in 2017. 8 years ago. There is a reason most Americans do not know what a PBM is. Spread pricing works because no one can see it. When you pick up a prescription, you see your copay. You do not see what the PBM paid the pharmacy. You do not see what the PBM billed your insurer. You do not see the rebate the manufacturer paid to get that drug onto your formulary in the first place. According to the International Foundation of Employee Benefit Plans, health plans typically do not see what PBMs reimburse pharmacies. Pharmacies do not see what PBMs bill health plans. Nothing is disclosed publicly. The FTC noted in its January 2025 report that its own markup calculations may actually underestimate the real spread. The actual markup is likely worse. When you struggle to afford a prescription, you often blame yourself. You think you chose the wrong insurance plan. You think you are bad at managing money, but you were not supposed to see the machine. Alec Smith was not irresponsible. He had a job. He showed up to work. He just ran out of money 3 days before payday in a system that charged $1,300 for something that costs $2 to make. You are not bad at managing healthcare costs. You are not failing to figure it out. You are navigating a system where 3 companies process 80% of every prescription in the country, own the pharmacies they send your prescriptions to, and mark up the price before your insurer ever sees the bill. The confusion is the product. The opacity is not a side effect, it is the design. 4 things you can do right now. 1. Check GoodRx before paying with insurance at the pharmacy. On many generic drugs, the cash price through GoodRx is lower than your insured copay. Your insurer sets your copay through the PBM. The GoodRx cash price bypasses it entirely. 2. Look up Cost Plus Drugs, launched by Mark Cuban. It sells generics at manufacturing cost plus a 15% margin and a small dispensing fee. No PBM, no spread pricing. Transparent by design. 3. If you take insulin, go directly to the manufacturer website. Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, and Sanofi all run patient assistance programs. Out-of-pocket caps exist that many patients never find out about. 4. Ask your doctor for a 90-day prescription instead of 30 days. The per-unit cost drops on larger fills. 1 conversation with your doctor. No forms to file. Next week, the concert where you paid $400 and the face value was $120. That gap has a name and a company behind it that most people have never looked up. If this explained something that felt confusing before, send it to one person who pays too much for a prescription. That is all.